#SAFM Lifetime.
All right, coming up in the next hour, we are going to be focusing on I Am an African, and we look at African civilization. Did it only come with being colonized? And just go back to yesteryear when there were 42, it's actually 142 commandments. How did we end up with 10? These are some of the questions that we are going to be asking, and we'll be joined by Mr. Don Laka, who's authored a very interesting, insightful book about African history, encouraging us to know thyself. But right now, let's tap into that wisdom that is within. Words of wisdom, it is with Mr. Veli Ndaba, and asking a very pertinent question. What does success really mean to you? And for me, it's being able to sleep at night, yes, peacefully knowing that I did not murder no one, I did not steal from anybody, and I did not take things that don't belong to me. Good afternoon and welcome.
A very good afternoon, Griselda, and to all the beautiful listeners.
I almost thought you wanted to say beautiful women. I'll pack it.
I think as well that wouldn't have been wrong. But anyway, Griselda, when you talk about what does success really mean to me, this is a very critical question that we need to look at. You know, most people live a life of lies, if I were to put it that way, because they have not defined exactly what success means to them. There are two approaches towards life. You can approach life with this perspective that success means an accumulation of things, or success means becoming a better person. So now, to become a better person, you firstly have to know what results you want to produce. Because if you are able to identify and define exactly the results that you want to produce, let's say 5 years from now, then it means today you'll be focusing on building and developing this person that will bring these results forth. But if you are only focusing on getting things, you will never find peace. You'll never have peace in your life, because there are people who will always have better things than you, more things than you, shiny things than you. So it means there will always be someone above you. And if you look at that as a measure of success, you will never be successful. You'll never be happy. That's why you find most people not so happy in life, because they are looking at things. If you ask them, why are you not so happy? They tell you, no, I don't have better shoes. If I were just to buy that car, then I will be happy. If I were just to have that house, then I will be happy. And you'll find that happiness is not something that you just, once you have it, and then you have it for a lifetime. I mean, we've been told of things that, for an example, if you get married, then they say you'll be you'll be forever. I mean, you'll be happy forever after. But there's nothing as forever after. You are happy at that moment, and then from there, you want something else. That's how we are as human beings. So the most important thing is to really be very clear in terms of what it is that you want to become in life. So the primary approach should be, how can I be a better person today? How can I actually develop the skills that I want to develop that will actually make me the person that is attractive to those things, that will become sustainable? Because if you just get things and it's going to be like, you've won a lottery. Most people who've won a lotto, what happens to them? They lose that money within 2 years. And one thing that we are looking at as a person, I mean as a people, and you normally hear people saying, we want to leave this world a better place for our kids. And I'm working to make sure that I'm leaving something for my kids. But the question should be not what you are leaving for your kids. It's about what you are leaving in your kids. Because at the end of the day, this world may be a better place, but are your kids better to occupy that world? Because everyone is talking about, I want to leave this world a better place for my kids. But I think we need to focus on leaving our kids as better people for our world, and which is not something that we're doing. So, but that starts with you as a person. What is it that you are doing today? And one question that you need to be asking yourself again is, what's going to be said about me? What's going to be my legacy? If the way I've actually lived my life were to be used as a formula, as a recipe that will be given to my kids and my grandkids, would I be happy to look at them living this life? Because we are really shortchanging ourselves. I mean, every day you just wake up hoping for better things, not working towards becoming a better person. Because the question is, how many books can you read in a day? How much information can you acquire, in a day? As much information as you possibly want. And if you base it on what is it that you want to achieve on a day, you'll be happy in life because you won't be comparing yourself with anyone. But you'll be looking at building yourself to becoming that person that will leave a legacy. So what does success once again mean to you? If you can define that and give it a very clear and solid definition, your life will be great. And it will be a good example to those people who are not even born yet to say, wow, there once lived a person by the name of Veli Ndaba. There once lived a person by the name of Griselda.
Yeah.
And I really want to use that formula because the recipe is there. If you know how to bake a muffin now, you have a recipe. And it's up to you whether you want to do it or not, but the recipe is there. So what kind of a recipe are you going to leave when you're gone?
How do I silence the voice that is me, that keeps saying it can be done?
In all of us, there are two people. There's a negative part of you and there's a positive part of you. The only thing that you can do to silence the negative part of you is to act. You can't just silence that person by sitting and analyzing things. Most of our dreams do not come through because of logic. No one, if I were to use logic and formulas, no one would have predicted that I was going to be where I am today. Mm-hmm. So the only way to silence the person that is actually negative in your head, which is yourself, is to take action. And when you take action, you take it again and again and again. And you say to yourself, I deserve the very best that life has to offer. And with that kind of bold and audacious attitude towards life, there's nothing that will stop you. Even when you go down, you'll pick yourself up and say, hey, I don't belong on the floor. I just belong here, standing. Even if people are putting you down, but stay standing inside of yourself.
Because you deserve it, you are worthy of it.
Because you are deserving of it and you are worthy of it. And that's a belief that you need to sell yourself to every day. And if you do that, it will become part of you. And then when some people walk, you can see that, wow, it's like they own the world because they've conquered that negative part of themselves.
So where do we find you?
I'm available at velindaba.com. If you just go to velindaba.com, you will get so much stuff.
And your material is available?
And my material is also available. You'll get it there. And I've also have this upcoming seminar on the 10th of November where I'll be helping people unpack and really understand why do they think the way they think. Because we end up sort of holding ourselves back because of these negative voices that we have within ourselves. So I'm glad that you asked that question. So those are the issues that I'll be dealing with because if you understand yourself, and I like what Don Laga speaks about, he's talking about know thyself.
Yeah,
and if you don't know who you are, then how are you going to address those things that you need to be addressing? Because you don't know who you are.
Ouch. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Ndaba, for joining us. Veli Ndaba, motivational speaker, author, entrepreneur, and life and business coach. And there you go. Question answered. What does success really mean to you? It means what you define it to be. All right, let's take Nalibali, and straight after that, we're going to have the news.